Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Ask Me Anything of NASSCOM 10,000 Startups. And we have with us today two prominent speakers, Mr. Rishi Kulkarni and Mr. Anshuman. And the way we'll structure this is like, as all of you know, this topic is acquiring and retaining customers. And so we will start with Mr. Rishi, who's been with Revvsales, who's the CEO and co-founder of Revvsales. In his prior roles, he's also founded One Click, which has now been acquired by Freshworks, and he brings in like significant experience in contract management, B2B sales, and how contracts can be executed at a light speed. So, Rishi, maybe you can share your experience in terms of acquiring and retaining customers, and we can take it up from there.
Sure. Uh, this is Rishi here from Revvsales. Thank you, Team NASSCOM, for setting up this meeting. It's great to see over 50 founders, entrepreneurs, and folks from the startup community on this call right now. So hi everyone. I sincerely hope all of you are safe, your family is safe, and your teams are safe. Um, I think the most critical uh, aspect of the problem that we are solving at this juncture in this crisis is business, right? Is sustainability of the business. And I took a shot of putting a slide deck here, just one slide, and I'll just share that one. So that I have some talking points. I could even seed some of those thoughts within the community here. You are all free to ask questions through the chat or the question, and I'm here, and my co-host Anshuman is here in case you have any questions here to ask. So I'll take about 5 to 7 minutes to go through my deck, and I'm gonna broadly talk about customer experience, which includes acquisition and retention, because you can't just focus on just an acquisition or retention aspect. It's largely the entire customer experience or running the business aspect that you focus on in these times to ensure that you succeed with the customers. So let me go ahead and share my deck. Okay, give me a second here. The app is figuring out its. Can you hear me? Ariel, can you hear me?
Yeah, there should be a share this thing.
Yes, I'm clicking.
Or maybe you can just
Yes.
speak and we can share with the participants later the slides.
So yeah, some of the things that I wanted to talk about, of course, was yeah, it's coming now. Entire screen. Ariel, you're able to see the screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I largely call this deck as customer experience during C19. So CX during C19, focus on customer acquisition and retention. Just to give my background, I've been in the tech software industry for almost 20 years now. Started with an engineering background and then moved into product. Then largely moved into the business aspects of the product. So I started a company called One Click back in 2011, which is what we hear Zoom today is what it was in 2011. It was used largely for customer support, which got acquired by Freshworks. So moved to Chennai. Lesson learned out of Freshworks was how do you leverage an existing brand and go to a global base of customers that you have, versus the one-click experience, which was largely acquiring customers one-to-one, face-to-face in India, whereas Freshworks was an existing customer base globally, versus my current experience at Revsales, which is fairly US focused, inbound and inside sales focused. So with that kind of background that I have, I thought I'll take some opportunity to share some of the lessons. These are very anecdotal. These are my experiences that I've gone through in managing product, business, and customers. If there is anything outside this, or if this thing leads to a better question for you, please jump in the AMA, in the question or the chat. So, of course, the first things first as a business that we need to focus on is keep your team safe. Your business is as good as your team right now, and I think that's the primary, highest critical priority for all of us to ensure that the teams are safe right now. The second thing I would, based on what kind of a phase that you are in as a company, if you're in an early stage where you're still engaged with prospects, perhaps early customers, or if you're in a later stage where you have a well-run revenue engine that's going on with an existing customer base and a set of leads or new prospects that are coming in, which may or may not be hurt based on what kind of industry or what kind of region you are in. So I think the most important thing to focus on right now is to really engage with your customers one-on-one. And there's a way to scale this one-on-one communication, but and I'll go into those in a bit. But in my case, and I'll share that example at Revsales, me and Samir, my co-founder, we've been writing emails, we've been sharing notes, we've been sharing learnings, we've been sharing even news articles that are relevant to our customers or the industry or the region they are in currently. So it's really trying to be in our customers' shoes right now and to really pay attention to the kind of problems they are going through right now. And it's really thinking broad, as in not necessarily in terms of the product or in terms of the service that you're offering, but really being in the customer's shoes. I'll give you one example right now is one of the things that we have sent to our customers, which is absolutely outside the scope of what we do as a company, but something that we made an effort and we sent it, is a template of emails and a communication on what they could send to their employees in these times, on how to stay safe, what kind of news they should perhaps read, what kind of social media they could access. And these are templates that we built based on best practices that McKinsey or Bain or BCG out there has been recommending. And most of those are online. We just collated that information, made a nice template, and sent to our customers. Right? So I believe right now, engaging with your customers one-on-one right now is the most critical aspect of any business right now. Second aspect I wanted to tell was based on, again, specifically the kind of operations that you run in your business. If there's any aspect which is automated, maybe there are automated emails that are going out. Maybe there is a schedule of blogs that are going out. Maybe there's an automated SMS that's going out. Or maybe you had chatbots on your website, or there were mailers that were sent out. It's very important and critical right now to relook at that communication right now, because a lot of that would have been produced or written in the heydays of December 2019 or January 2020, and much of that may not be empathetic or may not carry the right tone in times like these. So I personally, and of course my co-founder, went through most of those communication right now to see where do we sound tone deaf in a crisis like this, and perhaps go less salesy, less marketing, but more empathetic. So again, it's very important right now, be it for customer acquisition kind of a channel or be it customer retention. I think it's very, very important to really look at your communication right now in terms of marketing or sales collateral. And this is extremely key right now in terms of customer retention, uh, because as I listed here right now in the third bullet, um, based on what industry you are in, acquiring new customers may be a hard thing based on what industry you are in, but retaining your customers is, for a lack of better word, a more low-hanging fruit. So it's much better to double down on that, ensuring that your revenue is safer, and ensuring that your customer base is intact. And that's where my experience has been, is we double down on that one. I've listed some of the examples here. Kind of communication that I've done is largely give examples of, if you're a startup or if your customer base is startups, give them notes on how to acquire new business loans based on what region they are in. If they are in manufacturing or a more physical environment, guide them on how they can acquire PPE or any of the safety operating procedures, compliance equipment. If you're in tech, help them build some chat bots for their website, for their app. I think the big thing that's happening right now is partnerships. Businesses which are orthogonal, businesses which on the surface had no, were competitors or had no connection, are now joining hands and partnering in addressing customers. So I'll just wrap up the quick slide deck here. Is, I think the most important thing to focus right now is customer retention versus new customer acquisition, unless you are in one of those industries where there's a dramatic shift in the demand, in which case you can, of course, double down on the customer acquisition too. But more important aspect is relook at all your sales communication, your marketing collateral, just to ensure that your communication and your tone is more empathetic and more in line with the crisis that we are in. For companies which are a little more product phase, early stage phase, or those who can afford to, I left some one line there, which is, I think it may be time for a lot of you to really revisit your product market fit metrics. I've raised funds for OneClick. Freshworks was a funded company. I've raised 2 rounds in Revvsales, and what you thought were pain points versus vitamins in 2018 or 2019, that scenario has changed in 2020. So the most important critical thing for a product-led or a product-focused company right now is to ensure that your product market fit metrics are still the same, what it was pre-crisis, what it could be post-crisis. So those are a few points there. I'll end my presentation here. Back to you, Arihant.
Thank you, Rishi, for such a wonderful presentation and such a wonderful insight. So we already have some question and answers flowing in, which we will take once we finish with Anshuman.